I think we're on. Welcome everybody to episode 7 of ZOOMCAST that we've been doing right throughout lockdown. I'm Matt Grima, and today, I can't believe it, but ZOOMCAST has gone global. We've broken international waters. We're all the way over to Canada, and we've got the man himself, one of the funniest guys on Instagram. If you're a real estate agent and you've been needing a bit of a boost during lockdown, it's Matt Lionetti. Welcome, Matty.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. Excited to be here. Love your Rocky Balboa bobblehead.
Thanks, mate.
Next level.
I'm in my 30s, but I still got that childish charm when it comes to the nostalgia surrounding Rocky and all those movies.
Yeah, I watched them all. Like, there's a marathon on TV on the weekend. I watched everyone.
Did you?
Right through. You can't. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're like my favorite movie ever.
There you go.
Greatest. That's like the greatest love story of all time.
Of all time.
Rocky
Matt,
and Adrian. I mean, whatever.
I reckon we're gonna push it though. We might come in second place at the moment after we're done here on Zoomcast. Mate, for those of you who don't know you, and there's plenty of people that do, and I'll give you a quick story. So this is how I came across you. I'd made sitting at my desk, and I was pretty burnt out. I'd made 4 or 5 prospecting calls for the week, and that'll do me. And
More than I do.
Yeah, I needed a rest. So I jumped on Instagram for, your standard 4 or 5 hours as most people do. And my DMs were blowing up with tags to these videos. So I click in, it's got Matt Lionetti, real estate agent Canada. And I'm thinking, all right, who's this bloke? And I jumped in and you had me from day one. You do some very, very funny stuff. Where you essentially take the piss out of the industry, and nobody's safe
No
now.
one's safe. My clients aren't safe. Other agents aren't safe. I'm not safe. So I just go for it. I just told myself, if I'm gonna do this type of marketing, I'm gonna go all out. I don't want to be like lame when I do it.
Yeah.
So I just went for it. I swear.
It's full. You play full out. There's no doubt about that.
Oh yeah. Balls to the wall at all time. That's what I try and do. And then I grew this mustache, and this mustache has become a conversation piece of its own. So I close deals because of this.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. And the Freddie Mercury vibe is probably coming out. I reckon you might get a bit of Freddie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All the time. I did it because of Freddie. And I initially grew it because I did a Freddie Mercury video. It was pretty far down, but on my feed. And then I just kept it, and people didn't know if I was like joking but I just keep it now for good. And some people love it. Some people absolutely hate it. They despise it.
Mate, I like it. I think you should keep it. To give you some context about our world, so I'm in Victoria. We're in stage 4 lockdown due to the virus. Like most people, in some way, shape or form, we've been restricted in what we can and can't do. We've had a bit of a roller coaster of emotions here. We had an initial lockdown. We came out of that lockdown. We went back into lockdown. We saw some light at the end of the tunnel where we were going to come out in the next week or so. And we just got some bad news, if you like, particularly from a real estate perspective, where we're back into full lockdown for another 7 or 8 weeks. And what that means for us, Matt, is we cannot physically take a buyer through a property to show them a property. We can't go out and meet a prospective seller and do a market appraisal or list their property, if you like, in person. We're pretty restricted. So after Sunday, the real estate fraternity in this part of the world was pretty flat, and I thought, geez, we've got to get Lionetti on to give us a bit of a laugh and a bit of a pump up.
Yeah, damn, that's some crazy shit right there. I mean, it's like you're good, everything goes downhill. Come out, you're good to go, and they say, you know what, fuck you guys, we're going back in. I mean, I get it. I mean, you got to be safe, But damn, that must suck, especially from, like you said, a real estate perspective. That's our entire job is showing homes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as soon as that's gone, you know, now we're here talking about Rocky Balboa bobble dolls.
We need to do something to fill the time, Matt. What's your world like over in where are you? You're in the Durham region, which is Ontario, just south of Toronto. Is that right?
Yeah. Just outside of Toronto, Canada. And yeah, we're good here. So we went into lockdown in March, and then we kind of had phases. So we were in like a major lockdown, and then we started like slowly opening.
Right.
So we locked down everything, and then we started slowly opening things that we, would deem safe. So now we can do open houses. We can do all that stuff now. We've been doing a slow open since March, essentially, and
Right.
everything's still not open, but we're in stage 3 of the reopening phase now. So it's pretty good. I mean, it's just weird. We have to wear masks everywhere. I don't know if that's the same for you.
Yeah.
We have to,
Yeah.
if we go to the store or whatever, we got to wear masks. When I'm doing showings now, I have fucking gloves and Lysol wipes, and I got a mask and like goggles. I feel like I'm gonna rob the place. Holy shit! So that's a little weird. I'm trying to get used to that, but yeah. Other than that, it's fine. The actual market here has gone wild.
Has it?
I don't know how. Yeah, like everyone thought it was gonna be, everything was just gonna go down once we went into lockdown, and there was probably a month of nothing, and I was doing like nothing, and then people just came out of nowhere. I guess I don't know how. Like it's just been booming. The most it's boomed since probably 2017.
Do you think Lionetti Realty and your marketing videos in particular have played a part, Matt?
I don't know if I can give myself that much credit, but I was just when the lockdown happened, I released I did a Backstreet Boys parody, like the week of.
Backstreet Boys parody.
Yeah, some Backstreet Boys. I just wanted to part my hair down the middle, like I used to in the 90s.
Yeah.
So I did that. The Nick Carter. Yeah. Exactly. The Nick Carter. So I did that, and then it was cool to see the response that people, because it's a real downer, right? Like when you're just inside, you're locked down. So once I saw the response and people were actually like really happy to see the videos like keep going, I just like put it into overdrive, and I've just been really just releasing as many videos as I can. I mean, I still have to work, but they generate leads for me now, which is really cool because they're just stupid. They're stupid videos for whoever hasn't seen them. They're pretty dumb.
So I was going to ask you, your clients are following you. You've got prospective clients on there. It can be some polarizing shit. Like I'm clearly a fan, right? Like I think most people in the industry love what you do because it is so easy to poke fun at our particular industry, and there's so many pieces of the jigsaw that just make up what is a very fun and enjoyable thing to do. But it's not normal. There's a lot of little nuances in our industry versus other. You can be an accountant or a lawyer or a doctor, and it's just different moving parts to what we do. And you've got a brilliant way of poking fun at it. But talk me through that process, Matt. Was it a risk for you to do? Did you ever feel when you posted the first video or the first couple of videos that this could be a make or break type situation for you?
Yeah, so totally that exactly. I knew I've been in 4 years now, which isn't really that long in the industry, but about like a year and a half ago, I was just seeing so much of the same thing, and it was just really draining to me. And I was like, I just want to do something different. And I've had a lot of these ideas since I started. This is just how I am. But everyone told me, like, you can't do that. It's not professional. and you know, you're going to lose business if you do that. So finally, I was always on teams until about a year and a half ago. So I went on my own because I started doing enough business to go on my own. And I said, you know what, I'm just going to like go for what I wanted to do from the start. And it's either people are gonna not get it at all, and they're gonna get like offended or whatever and think it's dumb, or it's gonna be like something different that people haven't seen, and maybe it'll catch on a little bit. So yeah, I just went for it. It wasn't as kind of in your face as it is now. You can almost see my first video, I think it's called the Shut the Front Door video.
Yeah.
And it was for a listing I had, and it's just like I almost swear in the video a bunch of times. So I said, like, if you don't like it, you can and then I cut the scene and say front door, and I'm in front of the front door, that kind of thing. But then you can see the gradual build of the content.
Yeah.
From like the swearing, bleeping out the swearing. And then once I was bleeping out the swearing, I was like, why am I bleeping out the swearing? Because like I'm saying it anyways, it's just bleep doesn't matter. Yeah. So then I just kept the swear again without the bleep. And then I try and take it right to that. Like, I never want to offend anyone. I really don't ever look to offend anyone. I make fun of myself more than anyone. Yeah. But it's just, I just thought it'd be so funny to kind of say the things that everyone wants to say, but always felt like they couldn't.
That is it. If we could sum up your videos, your marketing, what you do, that is the tagline right there. The guy says the things that you think about saying, but you'd never say. Well, you're out there saying them, and he's saying them loudly and proudly. Yeah. And you've given us a lot of laughs, mate, and may that humour continue. You've through your comedic nous, you've been able to make a couple of really good friends, particularly this side of the world map. Your man Dick Slider and Dan Lee, two people that are pretty prominent from the comedic scene here in Australia when it comes to real estate comedy, and you've been able to team up with them in a couple of instances. Maybe talk me through some of those connections that you've made.
Yeah, so those are cool. They're both hilarious. They're awesome. So we all got featured on the Broke Agent Instagram, which most realtors follow. I mean, yeah. He's the biggest kind of meme page that we have in the industry, I would say, or probably for sure. But yeah, we all got features, and then we I reached out. I think I reached out to both of them. I was the first. And then Dan got featured like a week or two later, and I just reached out and I was like, "Hey man, love your videos. We should do something." Which, I mean, everyone says that. Hey, let's collab, and then nothing ever really comes of it. And then we just kind of found something that would be funny. We were like, okay, let's set up a call and see if we can think of a script or something. And then we did, and it was kind of like, I don't know if you saw that one. It was a bit further down in the feed, where we're like misunderstanding each other because of where we're from.
I did.
So like he says things from Australia that we don't say here, so we weren't really like connecting. So we did that, and then once we did that got a great response. And then Dick saw that, and we had already been chatting, and we were just like, we should do something too. So then we came up with that, and Dick and I wrote that script. And it's cool because everyone has like their own almost character. So like Dan is that like happy guy, and he's like kind of above and beyond humor, and it's like he hurts himself in his videos, and that's really funny. And then I'm just the kind of guy who gets pissed off at the clients and other agents. And then Dick is like, he just doesn't give a shit.
No.
He's like smoking weed, talking about hookers.
That's so I was telling you, we had a little chat before we hit record on this call. Yeah. We've got the biggest conference that we attend each year as real estate agents in this part of the world. The acronym is AREC, Australian Real Estate Conference, and agents from largely Australia, but New Zealand often will come over and see a whole host of speakers do what they do, and there's some incredible content that you get for 2 days. But on the rundown sheet, it had something about the best real estate agent in the world coming up, and I sort of had to double take. Like, really? Geez, that's a pretty bold statement. How do you come up with these rankings? Anyway, we'd had an intermission throughout the conference, and I've come back in, 1 or 2 or 9 minutes late, and there's a dude on the stage headlocking or like jujitsuing another person, and he's got a microphone on explaining some of the moves that an agent needs to make in order to get a vendor or a seller to be priced right to the market. And I'll quickly put 2 and 2 together. This might be a comedic skit, and this person isn't actually genuine, but by God, it was funny. And that was my first introduction into Dick Slider and some of the funny content he's put out over the journey. So
he's amazing. Some of the things both him and Dan, some of the things they think of is just like hilarious stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I love their videos. They're 2 of my favorite in this kind of real estate comedy space, whatever we call it.
Yeah.
But they're 2 of my favorites for sure. I just love, and like some of Dick's ideas are so like in left field. It's like, it's just incredible. And I don't know. I love both Dick and Dan. They're awesome.
Yeah, very funny. Very funny. Talk me through, like, I'm a clear novice at this sort of thing. I said to you, Matt, we're going to click record once and I'm going to click stop once. There's no editing. There's no, if we stuff it up, we stuff it up. That's just part of the fun. It is raw and uncut. But talk me through the process that you go through to piece together a 60-second or slightly longer Instagram video, from the idea itself to then the filming process, the editing behind it, who gets involved, who the voice might be of the female that's often in the background playing the buyer or the other agent. Maybe just talk me through the process.
Yeah, so I just kind of write down a bunch of ideas as I come up with them, and it'll just be anything. I'll be scrolling through Instagram. I'll see a dickhead realtor, posing in front of his car with his cell phone and talking about something that doesn't have anything to do with his car or his cell phone. So then I get ideas from that, and then just I get inspired by a lot of the realtors, and a lot of the ideas come from personal experience that I've had with clients or other agents. So
sure.
I do that. I just write them all down, and then I try and put out 1 video a week, 2 if I can. But I just kind of have a list of things. I have another list of like one-liners that I think's funny. I run everything past my wife, who doesn't think I'm funny at all. But it's a good starting point, because it's not like I start here and then I slowly get down. I start at 0 and then, slowly build. So I'll be like, I'll be like crying, laughing, thinking of these, because I think it's hilarious. And then I'll be like, what do you think of this idea? She'll be like, yeah, it's good. I was like, okay, well, you didn't laugh or anything, but all right.
Yeah.
So I do that. I run everything past her, because she'll tell me too if the idea is way off. She'll be like, that's a stupid shit idea. Don't do that. So, because sometimes when you're just thinking yourself, it kind of gets away from you. So I do that, and then all the voices is her, my wife.
Right.
She does her thing. She's a real she's a good sport.
Yeah,
about it all. So a lot of people talk about her voice, and they love her voice, and it's really come a long way. She can really put some emphasis on some certain words now, and she's great. She doesn't want to be front and center on camera ever, so she's always just behind the scenes, and she's happy to do it. And they're fun to do together.
She's brilliant, Matt. She has this beautiful way of playing the sarcasm role, or the genuinely disgruntled buyer or seller, and she's brilliant. So the fact that you do it together, I think adds to it and makes it more real, because I think a lot of agents, Matt, and maybe even a lot of buyers or a lot of sellers, at some point, if they watch some of your content, in one way or another, will use the phrase, Oh yeah, I've done that before, or I've felt that before, or I've been there before. You're just
Yeah.
obviously highlighting the comedic side of it.
Yeah, that's what I try and do. Like, um, I was trying, yeah, find the things that are just ridiculous
Yeah,
in our industry, and there's a lot of those things, just day to day, and every day is different. Um, and that's what some people ask, like, oh, like, do how you keep thinking of ideas and stuff? But it's just like a lot of the conversations, the base of the conversation is the same thing, but every client's different. So you can have, an overpriced house with one client, and they're going to react a complete different way to another client with that same overpriced
yeah,
house. So it's all about the personality that you meet on the way. So those conversations can be turned a million ways, from buying a house that was too much money, or buying a house that needs so much work. Those conversations can always be different. So just have some fun with it. And there's some every now and then there's like a learning point in there for clients or something. Like I did a video on um, not buying any big items before closing on your house, before you move in, stuff
right,
like that. And
yeah,
yeah, it's cool. Get some eyeballs on the brand and stuff. And yeah, a lot of people reach out now, to like sell their house or help them find a house from these videos, which that was the toughest thing. I didn't know if it was going to just be funny and
yeah,
then that was it.
yeah,
But no, people have actually said, like, we feel like you're just kind of you're genuine, and
yeah,
we feel like we can talk to you, and you're not going to just try and sell us on something.
yeah,
So it's kind of broken down a barrier, which I think a lot of agents actually put up by, maybe, what they think is what looks like success, like a nice car, nice clothes, watches, that stuff. I like all that stuff too, but I never show it because I just don't think it's really relevant to, and might actually scare some buyers
yeah,
and some sellers.
yeah.
So, yeah, I try
But
and just, you know,
would it be fair to say you're still very much a real estate agent first, and a comedic dude second? Is that the balance that you still want to portray?
yeah. So I mean, I'm definitely a realtor. Some people ask if I'm just an actor
Yeah,
who's just like taking on, but no, I'm a realtor,
yep,
and I'm trying to build my business every year, and this is the way I want to do it, and I understand it's not going to be for everyone.
sure.
Um, but those same people who aren't going to use me probably weren't going to use me anyways. So you're never going to get them all. You're never going to work with them all. And I'm at the point now where I actually don't want to work with everyone. Um, and I'm sure you've had it, sometimes it's just better. It just doesn't work with you and a client. I've had some sellers that have been absolute nightmares, and it's just not even worth the, like, the shit I went through. So like I can be a little bit more choosy, and it's not like I'm not like so worried about it, but it's just cool to work with people that you like and or have the same kind of mind and goal as you. So
Yeah.
that's what I do with it all. And yeah, I mean, like I said, it's not gonna be for everyone, but they don't have to watch it if they don't like it. And yeah.
It's fair to say if you're a Matt Lionetti client from a real estate perspective, you're probably you're probably not taking things overly seriously, and you can have a laugh and enjoy some of the stuff for what it is. Matt, what's your market like? What's your level of competition like? How many real estate agents roughly are you competing with on a weekly basis? Talk me through your market, things like the average sale price, average days on market. Maybe go through some of that just to give some people here who may not know enough about the Canadian real estate market.
Yeah, so on our board, there's like 50,000 realtors. We have a ton of competition.
Wow.
Like crazy, crazy, crazy. Um, and things have been selling like the low to mid range right now, which for us is like where I am. I'm about 45 minutes out of the city, Toronto.
Yep.
So, our low range is about 400 grand, and our mid range is 600, 6 to 7. Those are flying off the shelf. This whole year, I don't think I've had a listing longer than 5 days on the market.
Really?
Sold. Yeah.
Wow.
So they're just really, since we got out of lockdown, it has been through the roof, insane. So,
And
the videos.
Sorry, Matt. What does $600,000 buy you in your part of the world?
Yeah. So right now, I mean, everything's going into. We do things a little different than you do. Well, you do auctions, and then you don't have to do the auction though, right?
No,
That's
it's
just
not.
a strategy.
It's not mandatory. It's a strategy depending
Yeah.
upon the type of real estate it is, the part of the world that it exists in, and more to do with the scarcity of that particular property. So, if you had let's say a character-filled house in a very, very good part of the world, i.e., they're not making any more of that particular house, you can't go and replicate. I mean, you can, but it's not the same as something built in 1910, for example, in say in Albert Park, which is a suburb I work in. Very, very difficult to replicate. So you're probably going to have 2 or 3 or 4 people that like it and may be in a position to do something. So an auction in that circumstance will very much work and get the seller the best outcome. But it's not always the best method. But I know in your part of the world, you're pricing something either below market to maybe build some competition, or you might just be dealing with an opportunistic seller that wants to punt it higher than the market and hope somebody falls in line.
That's exactly it. So right now, a $600,000 house is probably going to be priced around $529.
Right.
And we're going to get, right now, we'll probably get 15 to 20 offers on something like that.
Wow.
Now, we aren't allowed to disclose what the other offers are. That's the biggest difference.
You're not allowed?
So, no. Okay. So there could be 15 offers. We know none of those 15 agents know what any of the offers are. So you're going in blind, just trying to win the house.
Yep.
So things could get really, so a $600,000 house can end up going for $650 because of that.
Wow.
Because you're just trying to win.
Yeah.
Which then gets in a whole other issue with bank appraisals and stuff like that. So yeah, right now, I mean, for 600,000, you'll probably get, you might somewhere be able to get like a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom detached home. Now in Toronto, you're not getting that. It's $1 million and up unless you're getting a condo.
Yeah.
So, Toronto's just crazy right now.
How many in that 15 to 20 offer scenario that you were talking about, Matt? How many are being represented by other estate agents, and how many buyers are representing themselves in that realm? Because I know in your part of the world, you have the opportunity to represent a buyer and a seller, whereas here we are primarily representing sellers only, and then there are what we call buyers advocates that are there to assist buyers that may not wish to go through the process alone. But yeah, talk me through that process. How many agents would you be dealing with typically?
Yeah, so they'll all have an agent.
They'll all have an agent.
That's just how it works. Yeah, every buyer has an agent. The only time it will they'll not have an agent at all would be like a private sale.
Right.
And that would be no agents involved. But yeah, those 15 or 20, 99.9% of the time, everyone will have an agent.
Will have an agent, right? So getting back to what you do from a marketing perspective and some of the video commentary that you've been putting out, the relationship that you have to have with other realtors in your part of the world is equally important as the clients that you're selling for. Would that be fair?
Yeah, absolutely. So, which the realtors, I'm actually shocked how the realtors have all been like, they love the videos, and I didn't know. I thought out of everyone for this, I thought realtors would get the most kind of hate from other realtors.
Yeah.
I thought it would be, like a lot get love, but also a lot of hate. But I really don't get much hate at all.
Yeah.
And a lot of realtors, it's kind of building my brand and building my name, which is cool because, it's just fun. But the thing is with the videos, which a lot of people don't kind of see is, it takes work. So even though it's funny and could almost look unprofessional at times, there's a lot of work that goes into it. And I put that same kind of work into the sales and the buys for my clients. And the thing is, when I do like a listing video for a client, like it's funny, it's unprofessional, it's funny. And then, it's sold in one day because, I had 500 shares, 6,000 views, and you know what I mean? So that's kind of where I get some people saying like, this is unprofessional. And my response is, oh, well, like it sold the house over asking in one day. Yeah. So I don't see where that's unprofessional.
Yeah.
I think I'm doing the best by my client and I'm having fun doing it. So
that's it. If it was just videos, Matt, and nothing to show for it from for the reward for effort, if you like, then it could potentially go one way. But if the two are lining up and you're actually getting results as the effort that the video is being put in, then I think that's going to work for you. And I can tell you, mate, there are a lot of people that love it, particularly in this part of the world. As I said, we're a little bit flat at the moment with the announcements that have come out. But if you need to pick me up, you can certainly pop on to Matt Lionetti's Instagram page and give yourself a bit of a laugh. Matt, do you see it continuing in the future? Is this something that you plan to continue doing? And do you see any changes or advancements to what you're doing?
Yeah, I want to keep doing this as much as I can. Right now, I'm doing a lot of the videos just myself. My wife also films them on my iPhone. So I do have like a couple bigger projects that I'm going to be bringing in videographers for, and so I'm excited for that. And this is just kind of how I want to market myself going forward. It makes the business for me more fun. Other people seem to have fun with it. And I think it's just, like I said before, it's I'm going for a certain type of client. A lot of clients you weren't going to get anyways. So I'm kind of just, I'm just sorting through the people who weren't going to work with me anyways. So, but for the most part, I really don't see, unless you're like really don't like swearing, that could be an issue.
Sure.
But like, I don't go into a listing appointment and I'm not just like saying fuck all over the place. Like, I mean, you need to read your client. I mean, sometimes I go in and the client's swearing more than I ever could in a.
It's true. Yep.
So,
yep.
And then then I'll start doing whatever the hell I want, and I know right there that they'll like what I do, and that's another thing too. When I'm going into appointments, I use these videos as a part of my presentation. To a point, though, I need to know where, okay, this person's a little more serious and uptight, so maybe they're not going to appreciate this type of marketing. So I don't have to do that type of marketing. I could do something a little more standard for them.
Sure.
Just because they don't, people, I'm not going to turn someone away because they're just not comfortable with me doing whatever in their house. So that's, I give them the option, and you can kind of read the person that you're talking to, and sometimes I don't even pull it out. I'm just like, yeah, shit, they're not gonna it's gonna go right over their fucking head.
I wouldn't use it. Yeah.
So but then other times you see like they're having fun, they're doing whatever, and like, they're gonna get this kind of marketing. And a lot of it's people closer to my age. I'm 29. So really that, like, 30 to 45 range.
Sure.
People are really kind of, it's the most heat I get is from like some older folks, but not even that much, to be honest. Like, sure. So
Matt,
it's pretty neat.
I'm a self-confessed real estate geek. I I'm embarrassed. I watch $1 Million Listing Los Angeles, and I watch $1 Million Listing New York. And I love
it.
It's more about the characters, and there's some funny things. They sell some beautiful property, and that's probably part of the fun. If you're generally into real estate, and you can push aside, some of the Kardashian-like drama and just look at it for what it is. I think there's some good stuff to be seen. Ryan Serhant from the New York version is a guy I like. I read his book recently and really enjoyed it. And he talks about the standout factor, and his commentary is try and be the one who. So try and be the one who does whatever they do and be recognised for that particular thing. And I think your videos and your marketing style, people will quickly recognise, oh, Matt Lionetti, he's the guy who makes the funny videos on Instagram. So we might leave it there, Matt. I generally appreciate the opportunity for you to jump on. You said yes without hesitation when I was nervously reaching out to you over the Instagram DM a couple of weeks ago. And look, you've made a friend in Melbourne. Hopefully, I've made one back over in Canada. And
yeah, absolutely.
When the lockdown,
absolutely, and I love Ryan Serhant. I love Ryan Serhant, by the way. He's the reason I got into real estate.
Is that right?
He's actually So he actually gave me a shout out.
Did he really?
Me a shout out on his page. Yeah.
Wow.
He said he wrote on his story, like, these are the type of videos that like get you recognized or whatever, and he tagged me in some. It was like I was blown away.
Yeah.
So
wow, that's massive.
He's literally the reason I got into real estate. So
there you go.
I read his book too. Yeah.
We're aligned. We like Rocky. We like the UFC. We like real estate. We like facial hair, as you can probably tell. So we've had a bit of fun this morning for me, and no doubt a lot of the people that have been kind enough to tune in might get a bit out of it, Matt, about being a bit different and trying to keep some humour during a pretty tough time for people in real estate here at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me, man. Like, this is, I love doing this type of stuff. And, we were talking, and I have a good judge of character, even through Instagram. I can just tell, like, okay, this guy's a good dude. And as we were chatting more and more, I was like, oh yeah, of course. Like, I love doing this stuff. Like I said before, I love meeting people from all around the world, and it's cool. We'll definitely stay in touch and do another one of these when your podcast is blown up like Joe Rogan. And
yeah, this is the Joe Rogan experience, Matt, just without Rogan. It's just an experience. So we have a bit of fun. Mate, thanks again. A real pleasure to have you on.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me, man.
Pleasure, mate.
Take care.
Bye.